Good morning. The great theologian Karl Barth used to say that God is wholly other. When he said that, he used the word holy, but not H-O-L-Y. He used it as W-H-O-L-L-Y. What he meant was that God, in who he is completely distinct from man. He's completely separate from me. We're not of the same species. I cannot relate to what God is in that way. He's wholly other. One of the ways in which, and one of the key attributes wherein we find him to be wholly other, is the idea of his holiness. H-O-L-I-N-E-S-S. Him being holy. So he's completely distinct from me, but he's completely distinct from me in one of the most significant ways, is that he is utterly ethically untainted in his character. He is completely holy. There is a wonderful text in Scripture that gives a vivid representation of this, and it comes from Isaiah chapter 6. And Isaiah the prophet, who would traffic in the court of the king, knew what it was when a monarch in the ancient world was, a monarch died off and the monarchy was changing. It could easily cause the nation to be in great disarray. Isaiah writes in Isaiah 6, verse 1, all the way through verse 7, "In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple." Now picture what Isaiah is seeing. "Above him stood the seraphim," type of angel. "Each had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, and with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And one called to another and said, 'Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.' And the foundations of the thresholds shook at the voice of him who called, and the house was filled with smoke. And I said, 'Woe is me.' Isaiah said, 'Woe is me, for I'm lost, for I'm a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips, for my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts.' Then one of the seraphim flew to me, having in his hand a burning coal that he had taken with tongs from the altar, and he touched my mouth and said, 'Behold, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away and your sin atoned for.'" Isaiah sees a vision of the holiness of God, God enthroned in majesty. This picture of his robe filling the temple, and he's overwhelmed at it. And there's this cacophony of echo back and forth. Holy, 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 holy is the Lord of hosts. Isaiah was overwhelmed with holiness and overwhelmed with the holiness of God. And in that, what he realized was how unholy he was. One of the things about the holiness of God is that we're to remember in that God is really distinct from us. It's the reason we can rest in and just absolutely find our joy in the gospel. Because look, there's no earthly reason why a holy God should have anything to do with an unholy me and an unholy you. But God sent his Son. What great words. And he sent his Son, who became a holy sacrifice for you and for me. When you think today about the holiness of God, I want you to remember that while God is very different from you and me, he reached out to you and he reached out to me. And he did so because of his love for us, bridging the gap between his holiness and my unholiness. Praise his holy name, that he always does what's right, even in his redemption of you and his redemption of me. Have a wonderful day.